Good morning. Sorry that I can't be with you live, but I am nonetheless glad to share a few words with you. Today's gospel reading is all about profound, courageous, and audacious faith. And I think it teaches us a whole lot. We have one of the leaders of the synagogue, Jairus, a member of the establishment, someone whose whole career could be ruined if seen engaging with Jesus. This man, who has so much to lose, is asking, pleading, begging Jesus for help, saying, "My little daughter is at the point of death. Come and lay your hands on her so that she may be made well and live." With that sentence, Jairus has made it clear he believes that Jesus has the ability to heal his daughter. Jairus, in doing this, shows an amazing faith, as does the so-called woman with a hemorrhage. Now, just a little bit about names here. The man in the story is named Jairus, but the woman, she doesn't get a name. She gets a label. The woman with the hemorrhage. Sometimes, my friends, the Bible frustrates me. Regardless, the woman is another hero of this gospel. She broke so many traditions with her actions that it's pretty simple to lose track. First, she was bleeding. She had an out-of-control period for 12 years. And in the Jewish faith, a bleeding woman was considered unclean. Therefore, she shouldn't be out in the crowd. She needed to be sheltered, separated, secluded. But this woman, she's desperate. And she was faithful. "If I but touch his clothes, I will be made well." She had enough faith to risk being stoned to death for violating a number of Jewish laws about purity and propriety. Her faith was so strong that when she touched the hem of Jesus' robe, Jesus actually felt power go out from him. It gives me chills every time I read it. How much faith must one have for it to deplete Jesus of energy? This woman was also brave. In response to the question, "Who touched my robe?" she, knowing what had happened to her, being healed immediately, came in fear and trembling, fell down before Jesus, and told him the whole truth. As an unaccompanied woman, she could have disappeared into the crowd. No one is going to pay an unaccompanied woman any mind. And yet, she spoke up. I guess we shouldn't be surprised that she was brave. After all, true, deep faith, and she certainly had that, requires a huge amount of bravery. I often wonder that when we gather in our church communities, whether it's in our actual buildings or online, and we hear these stories and other stories of brave and faithful people told to us in our Bible, I wonder if we realize that not only was the faith expressed by those early Christians risky, but that being a Christian here and now in 2021 is risky as well. We are to stand up for the voiceless, the oppressed, the hated, the despised. And by doing so, we run the risk of being hated and despised ourselves. If we don't feel the height and breadth and depth of that risk when we proclaim ourselves faithful people, then I'm not sure we're doing it right. Jairus and the woman with the hemorrhage risked everything because they were desperate beyond all measure, and they believed beyond all measure that Jesus could help them, that he could heal them, that he could restore them. So the question for today, the question for every day is this: are we desperate enough to live this faith? Are we brave enough to live this faith? Are we willing to risk everything for this faith? Are we willing to be Jairus? Are we willing to be the woman? I sure hope so, because our world needs us to be. May it be so. Amen.